Okay, in the environment today, we have a higher population density, so suppressors are becoming more and more popular amongst civilian shooters, law enforcement, military. A, to save hearing. B, to keep better conditions as far as link and comm, or just plain having fun. It's more fun to shoot suppressed than it is raw. And raw meaning no suppressor at all. So we have a very large line of different types of suppressors for all various calibers, 17 through 50 BMG. So we actually custom build our cans to our, our customers' needs, and we build them one at a time. They're almost basically a custom can. Okay, there's a lot of questions about what type of suppressor for what application and barrel lengths. What I can tell you is very simple, is that the shorter the barrel on the weapon system, and depending upon its burn rate, is something that has to be considered, such as a 16-inch or 12-inch 308, or a 14-inch 308, or let's go to a 300 Win Mag. They can be anywhere from 28 inches long all the way down to 20 inches. I've seen them that short. 338 Lapua. The most common is a 24 to 26 inch barrel, or now we've got guys out there running 20-inch barrels. So we have to know this. It's very important for us in order to build the can accordingly. It's a tough deal for us to figure it all out, but we have managed to do a very good job of handling our customers' needs. So what I say is that if you let us know what you need, we'll build what you need. But short barrel rifles, you're going to have a little more sound because you're actually burning propellant inside the suppressor. So keep that in mind. It's a very important issue. Hi, Dale Poling with EliteIron again. And basically I've had a lot of questions about how the cans are built, what's in them, why they're built the way they are. Well, if you notice, we're using a Cerakote finish, which is a really tough coating by NIC Industries. The knurled bands on the back are actually for helping you grip. They tighten them up on the weapon, especially when it comes to direct thread or even on a break mode. The material inside is all 17.4 pH heat treat, H900, so it's very high strength, high, what do you want to call it, temperature rated. And if everybody says, well, we can't clean our cans, well, we can. You can actually clean them in hot soapy water if you really want to. But everything is put together harmoniously. We're using the same types of components and materials that are actually cohesive, shall we say, and makes it a better product. Okay, basically speaking, what we're looking at here is what the baffles actually start out as. A solid billet bar of material. This is 17.4 pH, H900 heat treat. Very tough, high abradement, high temperature material. Just as good as 718, but lighter than 718 Inconel. All of our parts internally are made out of 17.4. This is the butt section of a can that you're going to see being built. And then this is after they're blanked on a CNC lathe, and then after they're fully, completely machined. Back in the old days, baffles used to look like that. This is an original K baffle. This is our K baffle, highly modified to our specifications. You can see the difference. There's huge, vast difference in the baffle itself and changes. So when you have all these parts put together, they're 3 times stronger than most of these types that are actually pressed sheet metal and stamped. And then once they're stamped, they just press them into a tube and they weld it on one side, so if they come loose, they will fail. And that's the whole reason why EliteIron builds theirs as we do. We want integrity inside of our suppressor. Okay, what we have in front of you here right now is the internals for a Bravo 1 suppressor. All these parts all go together as a snap fit. The machine tolerances are very tight. The material is very hard because it is an H900, which brings it up to high Rockwell scale. The reason why we use 17.4 is that it's good for high temperature abradement and resilience under high pressure and temperature. So what we'll do is we'll actually take these parts and snap them all together in alignment. Once the alignment is done, then we can go ahead and tack weld everything together. Once it's all tack weld, then we'll get prepared to put it in the tube.
Now I'm going to assemble the baffles, or the suppressor components. Each of the baffles bore is sized to be a press fit on the journal of the next part. I line the ports up. Requires a smart hammer tap to get the parts to fit together. Here we have a suppressor core ready to be welded. Now I'm going to tack weld all the core suppressor parts together. I have 3 tack welds evenly spaced on the circumference on each joint. Now we need to make sure the suppressor core is straight. I'm going to put the center in the core so that there's little run out. Everything looks straight. Ready for the final weld. Now I'm going to completely weld the circumference of all the joints. The arbor press to install the core into the tube. Checking the mandrel to make sure that it's indicated in on the center line of the spindle. Now I'm checking the straightness of the suppressor off the center line of the thread before the first major weld. And that's going to be ready for the first weld there. Now I'm going to continuously weld the joint between the tube and the butt section. After the tube is welded to the butt section and cooled, it's refixtured and rechecked for straightness and concentricity to the threads. And that's within about a thou and a half. We'll proceed. Okay, now we're going to perform the visual inspection. I've indicated this. The indicator says that this suppressor is concentric within 0.02 of an inch. I'm going to install the appropriate brake on this 30 caliber barrel. Make sure it's snug. Put the suppressor on, just like you would on a real rifle. the barrel and the suppressor to make sure that everything looks correct and there are no shadows.
Hi, Dale Poling again from EliteIron, and basically I've had a lot of questions about accuracy enhancement with the suppressor. So what we're going to do today is actually shoot some groups with a can and without a can. We're going to start raw, as we call raw, which is unsuppressed, nothing on the end of the barrel, and then go to the suppressor and shoot groups. So this range is 100 yards, and we're just going to let you see for yourself what we got. You ready? Here we go. Ears. Okay, well there's 5. Okay, now we're going to show you 5 suppressed, and we're actually going to throw a suppressor wrap on here just for mirage mitigation, which is what they're intended for. So here we go. You ready? Let's go. There you have it, 5 rounds suppressed. Okay, here's your 5 shots unsuppressed. This is pretty average, but the gun can do better than that with a little more time. Okay, and here's your 5 shots with the suppressor and mirage mitigation cover. Okay, well what you've just seen is basically a weapon being fired without a suppressor or a brake, just raw gun, and then putting the suppressor on with the mirage mitigation wrap and firing another string. So there's no smoke and mirrors, no pencil stabbing. That's real life happening. And what you saw on the target as far as shift goes, that's pretty common. Anytime you hang any kind of weight on the end of a barrel, things move. It all depends upon the spine of the barrel, how it's made, how it's stress relieved. There's tons of variables. Just the slightest little change can change everything. Luckily enough, you know, with this KRG Whiskey 3 chassis, our suppressor, our bipod, it's done a really great job to show you what a gun can do with a suppressor and without. But let me say this in my own behalf. The unsuppressed group should have been tighter. I probably rushed it a little bit, but nevertheless, hello, the writing's on the wall.